welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this. Today we're looking at a lawsuit that just recently landed in the Multnomah County Circuit Court. And honestly, it goes way beyond your typical customer complaint. It's a bizarre, frankly, a pretty startling story that involves our everyday routines, a totally horrifying discovery, and a really fascinating dive into public records. We're going to unpack the details of this consumer complaint against grocery giant Trader Joe's to try and understand exactly what happened. Let's get right to the facts.
So I want you to imagine your absolute worst food-related nightmare, right? You wake up, you head to the fridge, and you pour yourself a nice, refreshing glass of orange juice. You take a drink, expecting that familiar, bright citrus taste to kickstart your morning. But instead, well, you encounter something completely unexpected. This totally sets up the visceral horror of a claim made by Portland woman Julie O'Neill. According to her lawsuit, she'd purchased a standard 52-ounce bottle of Trader Joe's brand orange juice. She'd been drinking from it periodically, just completely unaware of what she alleges was lurking at the very bottom of the bottle.
Now, what's really interesting here is a minor discrepancy we found regarding the timeline when looking at the source material from different news outlets. It's a small detail, but, definitely an interesting one. Some reports state the purchase happened on June 14, 2025, while the lawsuit details cited by other outlets point to her discovering the issue on June 19th. But what all the sources do agree on is the location of the purchase. She bought this bottle of juice at the Trader Joe's, located in the Hollywood neighborhood right on Northeast Halsey Street in Portland.
Okay, so when she was finishing the juice a few days after buying it, she noticed what she initially thought was just a really large piece of pulp. But upon closer inspection, she realized it wasn't fruit at all. It was actually the fingertip end of a rubber glove. And guys, the horror absolutely did not stop there. I want to read this exact quote directly from the lawsuit because it truly brings you right into the sensory details of her realization. The suit states, she was and is concerned that the human hand that was in the tip of the glove was also severed and was part of the pulp she had been periodically drinking. I mean, just let that sink in for a moment. She literally believed there might have been an actual human fingertip inside that glove tip, or that it had been somehow mixed into the juice itself. As you can imagine, the physical reaction was immediate and, well, totally chaotic. Let's walk through the sequence of events she describes. Step 1, she realizes she has potentially swallowed contaminated juice and what she thought was pulp. Step 2, she immediately gags and is just overcome with intense nausea. Step 3, things escalate from mere disgust to actual physical pain as she begins experiencing a burning sensation in her mouth. And finally, Step 4, the situation reaches an absolute boiling point and she rushes to an urgent care facility for medical attention. I mean, the sheer panic of realizing you may have ingested a piece of a human digit, that would send absolutely anyone straight to the doctor. So, the crucial point is what happens next on the legal side. For a claim involving a severed human body part, severe emotional distress, physical burning, and a trip to urgent care, you'd probably expect a massive multi-million-dollar lawsuit, right? But her demand was unexpectedly low, exactly $10,000. According to the court documents, 30 days before officially filing the suit on April 20, 2026, O'Neill wrote to Trader Joe's demanding this $10,000 as a settlement. It's an incredibly modest financial demand for such a seemingly catastrophic event. And when the company didn't pay up, well, she took the whole shebang directly to the courts.
Now, in the immediate aftermath of this lawsuit hitting the public docket, the response, or actually scratch that, the lack thereof, has been pretty notable. Trader Joe's spokesperson, Nakia Rodi, has not immediately responded to media requests seeking comment on the allegation, and similarly, O'Neill's own legal representation, lawyer Anthony Furness, has also maintained total silence, not replying to any request for comment either. So right now, the only voices in this entire story are just the pages of the legal complaint itself. Let's move to and see how this builds. Because if the story stopped at this gross-out juice incident, it would just be a shocking, standalone anecdote. But as we know, whenever a lawsuit makes headlines, journalists start digging. And what they found in the public court records suggests this 52-ounce bottle of orange juice might just be the tip of the iceberg. This is where our explainer takes a really fascinating turn into the wider context of the plaintiff.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happens when reporters actually dig into the background. They uncovered a fascinating history of litigation. Now, to be completely clear here, we are just neutrally examining public court records obtained by news outlets like KGW without taking a side on the validity of any of these claims. But let's just break down the data for a second. In the past, she filed suits against other drivers in car crashes where she claimed the other drivers were at fault, and those resulted in settlements. Then, in 2020, she sued Starbucks, claiming she slipped on a puddle at one of their stores and injured her knee. After that, in 2024, she filed a lawsuit against a massage provider, alleging that the therapist actually stepped on her neck.
So, when we connect the dots of these past legal actions, we start to see a broader pattern of unusual incidents leading to litigation. We go from car crash settlements to a slip and fall at a major coffee chain to an allegedly aggressive neck-stepping incident at a massage parlor, and now a severed finger and a rubber glove in a bottle of Trader Joe's orange juice. Again, every single individual has the absolute right to seek legal recourse if they're harmed, and we are simply looking at the progression of these public filings. But seeing them all listed out sequentially like this, it certainly adds a layer of complexity to how we view this most recent, highly publicized claim.
Which brings us to the ultimate question at the heart of this explainer. Are we looking at a terrifying, horrific lapse in corporate food safety protocols that resulted in an absolute nightmare scenario for an unsuspecting customer? Or does this extensive public record suggest a pattern of serial litigation? It's a truly fascinating intersection of consumer trust, food safety, and our legal system. It definitely leaves us wondering exactly how the courts are going to view the evidence and what Trader Joe's eventual response will be. We'll leave you to ponder that nuance. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep your eyes open, both in the grocery aisles and in the court dockets.